I'm here with Jeff McCord from Kula Botanical Gardens. Now, Jeff, you've got some wonderful tikis here, but this garden's really about plants, and not only native plants, but some of the more colorful plants. But going back to the native ones, you've got a lot of neat stuff around here. Maybe you could tell us about that.
Yeah, we definitely try to incorporate a lot of natives here because we want to propagate a lot of the native species and you know, perpetuate the species and things like that. We also want to allow people to see what grows here natively, and but we also want to kind of cater to the tourist also, who wants to see a lot of showy flowers and things like that. And natives inherently are not the most showy, so we try to place them here and there throughout the garden so that people can enjoy them as they walk along throughout the whole garden, while enjoying the beautiful flowers and such which are available here.
Well, you make a great point, because you know, when people come to Maui, they expect these wonderful flowers and these colorful foliage and all these things, but if native plants are like back in Canada, they're generally basically sort of, well, I won't say ugly, but most of them are a little less than spectacular because they have to grow in tough conditions. Are the plants in Hawaii or Maui the same way?
They're very similar. There are some very beautiful native Hawaiian plants for sure, but in general, they're not the most showy plants, and so you try to incorporate them with other things.
Oh, okay.
But we have a lot of beautiful plants here. We have a beautiful koa forest in the very front of the garden that was here originally before we actually started. So it's an indigenous forest. And then we've brought in the state flower.
Which is what? Now, it's that yellow hibiscus?
That's the yellow hibiscus, yes. It used to be the red one, but they found out that that was not a native to Hawaii, so they had to change it to yellow.
To yellow?
Yeah, so we have quite a few of those throughout the garden. Native ferns, and a lot of little shrub type things like uki and ule and
you showed me those. You know, and I got to admit, they don't look that spectacular right now.
But they're fun specimens to look at, and it's always fun to point them out and say that those are native Hawaiian plants and things like that. So.
And the ferns are like, in Canada, certainly on the West Coast, ferns, there's so many different kinds of ferns that we can grow. I imagine you guys have a ton of ferns here too.
There's, in the garden itself, we have too many ferns to count, which include a lot of native tree ferns, Ali.
Now, there was the one that you showed me earlier on, which was the one that had that beautiful red frond that came out. Do you remember which one that one was?
I don't remember the name of that.
It was sort of almost like a cinnamon one, but it was gorgeous. A really nice fern, and I love that one. Yeah. And you know, and I was amazed to see, certainly in your temperate zone here, how many things that you grow here that we grow: hydrangeas, things like that, cannas that you have. Magnificent.
The diversity in the garden is probably its strongest point, in that we can grow just a number of different varieties of plants, from deciduous to tropical type plants. And that's what makes this garden so interesting, in that it has such a diverse grouping of plants. So.
Perfect. Well, you've got a magnificent garden, and I hope I can come back again sometime, because it really, you have to spend a little time here to appreciate all the stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And at any time you know, at different times of the year that you come, you get to enjoy different things, because, you know, things come into season and go out of season, and so it's very fun to see.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. I really appreciate it.